Thank you.
All right, so let's begin with the Q&A session. We have the mics. Where are the mics?
Uh, Hello. Yeah, good afternoon. Congratulations to you, Joya. And I'd like to ask you that you are working for Bollywood industry also. So how will you keep balance between TV and films?
I mean, it's a very different medium, and it's a different time. You just block your time differently. I mean, movies is what I do, and this doesn't take that kind of time to do. So it's easy.
So Zoya, the kind of movies you have been making so far that depicts the modern India, the culture, the characters, they just belong to the modern India and they prefer to speak English. So is that the reason you are going to be associated with a channel which is going to bring the Hollywood movies?
My characters speak Hindi, yeah. I make Hindi films. I'm associated with this channel because I like what they were doing. I like the lineup of films they had, and I like the intention behind creating this channel. So that is why I'm associated with it. I like their programming. But this has nothing to do with the movies I make. I make Hindi films.
Yes, Mr. Subodh, on your right side. It is necessary to have ads and all in the movies while telecasting. But mostly impression is that the film becomes Hindi. So what do you have to say about that? Do you agree or will you go for some change or something?
Well, I'm sure Zoya will agree with me. There's a lot of sweat and toil that goes behind making movies. And it costs money to make movies. And whoever is making a movie or whoever is broadcasting a movie needs to be remunerated for the efforts done. There are two ways of doing that. One is that the subscriber pays full subscription money, and as a result of which one is able to watch those movies. Or the other is that there is a lower subscription fee, but at the same time, through advertising opportunities, both the filmmakers and the broadcasters are able to recover the investments that they make behind providing this entertainment to the viewers. So I think it's a business model. If that doesn't make sense to the creators or the broadcasters, then it becomes a zero-sum game. You won't have a movie, right?
Experience रहा कैमरे के सामने आने का?
It was very nerve-wracking for me. It wasn't very comfortable. It's not something I'm used to doing. But what made it easy was that I was not acting. What made it easy was I was myself. I had a good director. I had a good crew. So it was comfortable in that way, But otherwise, it can be quite nerve-wracking.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, Saurav here. On your idea. My question is that the movies what you're going to show will be censored or uncensored movies?
It will be subject to whatever the CBFC guidelines are. We will comply with that, and that's how the movies will be aired.
Zoya, my question is to you. Yeah. I want to know which Bollywood movie would you like it to be into a Hollywood movie?
Which Hindi film would I like to make into a Hollywood film? There's so many. There are so many. I think my own, if I have to make one, I can't hijack someone else's. So I'll say Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
Thank you.
So Zoya, here, to your right. So main purpose of the movies is basically entertainment. And so far the movies you have made, they just belong to the entertainment genre only. So, but will you be making the movies like Madari, which come up with some very, strong messages and which belong to the merely the kind of cinema what we call is art cinema?
I don't necessarily think a film like Madari is art cinema. I don't believe in art cinema and commercial cinema. I think any filmmaker that makes a movie, it requires a certain artistic flow to make a film. And whoever makes a movie, whatever kind of movie it is, wants it to be commercial. Nobody makes a movie and doesn't want it to make commerce. So there's no such thing. There are good things, good films, bad films. Coming back to the kind of movies I make, I don't know. I think if any idea interests me, or any story interests me at that time in my life, I would definitely go ahead and make it. I don't choose my stories in a sense of like, will it message or will it not? Where I'm coming from, I feel I do put messaging in my movies. I mean, when you see Dil Dhadakne Do, there is a very clear messaging. You may not be hit on the head with it, but there is a very clear message about how to treat your boy and how to treat your girl, and how people expect what they expect from their sons and what they expect from their daughters. So it may be subtling, but it's subtle, but it's what I do. And you know, you can't. I mean, at least me, I can go and look at a movie and love it and be like, oh God, why couldn't I make a film like that? But I won't go out there and be like, I'll make a film like that. I have to make what comes to me naturally. So if I get a story that fits your will of art, then hopefully I'll make it.
So, hi. My question, so Le Plex is entering a world where Netflix is already here in India, and Amazon is soon going to come with the Prime Video service. So why was the decision taken to remain an TV-only service, or have you already thought about going forward, taking to a digital world?
Well, at least what I will talk about is the television channels business, because that's what I'm a part of. We have an OTT platform in the form of Sony Live, which is a different business housed within the networks in India, and they will formulate their own strategy in terms of what entertainment to provide for the audience based on the business opportunity.
So you're saying that you never got to consider if Le Plex was going to go digital. That's not part of your domain then?
No. My point is that the digital strategy for the company is driven by what we call the Sony Live business. They decide that strategy. I'm not the person, who can speak about that. That's what. Yeah.
Hi, Zoya. Here, towards your left here.
Hi.
Zoya, while international movies always had an audience in India, what we are seeing today is a lot of Hollywood movies which are doing much better than Bollywood at the box office. You feel today we need to pull up our socks and provide more content-oriented cinema in a way to compete with Hollywood? Or you feel perhaps Hollywood will take over Bollywood someday in the near future if this goes on like that?
That's a very interesting question. I think what really needs to happen is that I think we need to stop getting taxed as much as we do. Because the Hollywood films aren't as taxed as the Indian films are. And the Indian films are bleeding. They're bleeding with the amount of taxation. We are paying taxes for being entertainment, which is a luxury tax, and we are paying taxes for service. So are we a luxury? Are we a service? We just keep paying tax. So I think the government really needs to help, and they need to understand that we have to support the industry. And we have to make sure the industry gets stronger and bigger and doesn't get eaten up by foreign films, because that's the only way it'll help. We are making content-driven cinema. There is a lot of films coming out. So I don't think it's that. I really think it is a restructuring and understanding of how much taxes the producers are paying. It's backbreaking,
Saurav, hi. This is Shanti here. I like the presentation that you have put together. So you mentioned that there will be conversation and listicles created about it. So how are you going to be taking it, from the platform of television to the digital space and involving everybody?
No, so we will drive conversations into social media and maybe blogs, etc. going forward.
It's before the movie gets aired on the channel, or
during the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we will have listicle themed movies playing for a week, say, and there will be a common theme around that, and then we will drive conversations. The example or the illustration is what we talked about.
As a director, it's very difficult to do even a film a year is pulling it. Because I write my own work. So when I write I write with Rima Kakti, we write our material, so that takes you some time. Then you cast it, then you have to wait for dates. Then you actually, shoot the film, which is a good 3-4 months. Then you'll take a little break to rest, even a month. Then you get into post-production, which is another 5 months. It's not possible for me. It might be possible to shoot 2 films a year if someone else was writing it, somebody else was, mainly editing it, you don't care, then you can. Otherwise, it's not. You have to do short films. Then you can.
Any more questions? Well, thank you so much, Saurabh. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Zoya.
so much. Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
The first premiere happens this Sunday on Sony Le Plex. Thank you so much for being here. We break for lunch with that. Thank you.
Look at the center. Okay. I'm just going to look at him. I'm looking at you. मैं आपको देख रही हूँ. हाँ.
अच्छा जोया जी किस तरह का आपको लगता है हॉलीवुड मार्केट है इंडिया में हॉलीवुड फिल्मों के लिए खासतौर पर?
हॉलीवुड फिल्मों के लिए मार्केट है बिग सिटीज़ में अभी ग्रो हो रहा है इवन इन द स्मॉलर टियर सिटीज़. I mean, it's obviously the English-speaking market, and then now that the films dub हो रहे हैं, that is increasing the market slowly, and I mean, we can see it with the amount of releases that's out there. Satellites made a huge difference also. People are getting exposed to more films and now watching more films.
Zoya जी आपके पर्सनल हॉलीवुड के फेवरेट डायरेक्टर कौन है और गिवन अ चांस अगर किसी हॉलीवुड एक्ट्रेस के साथ फिल्म बनानी हो तो वो कौन है?
मेरा एक फेवरेट डायरेक्टर नहीं है और मेरे फॉरेन फिल्म्स के डायरेक्टर सब हॉलीवुड से नहीं हैं. I love Stanley Kubrick, he was British. Hollywood, main Hollywood say I think Martin Scorsese, I think Paul Thomas Anderson, old time Billy Wilder, Steven Spielberg, Steven Soderbergh. बहुत है. मेरा ऐसा एक फिल्म मेकर नहीं है. और एक्ट्रेस अगर मुझे किसी एक्ट्रेस के साथ काम करना हो तो एक्ट्रेसेस भी बहुत हैं. मेरिल स्ट्रीप, जेनिफर लॉरेंस, केट ब्लैंचेट, केट विंसलेट, बहुत हैं.
Zoya, can you elaborate or give us a sense of what would your role be with the channel as a community ambassador? If you can just shed some light on that.
You know, I think in terms of programming, in terms of content, you know, if they need anything from me to ideate, to brainstorm, I would definitely be there. In terms of hopefully being able to read the future on their page, on social media, to figure out what the discussions on their films are, you know, to participate with people, to talk, to interact with people in terms of discussion. I think that's where it would be most interesting for me, you know, for them and me.
Zoya, what prompted you to took this role as a community ambassador?
Yeah, usually I would never do something like this. It's just that what they were trying to do with their channel was just perfect. You know, what they were trying to do with their channel was just perfect for me. In the sense that I'm a movie buff, I watch movies. They have a great lineup, and they want to create a space where people can, you know, where people go and watch a match together. Like you go to your friend's house to see the match. You know, so they want to create a space where every Sunday there's a premiere and you go and watch a movie together. You know, and that's what I've grown up doing, and it just felt like home. It was just perfect.
जोया जी आप बॉलीवुड की बात करें तो रणवीर सिंह के साथ कोई मूवी बनाने वाली हैं आप या बना रही हैं तो उसके बारे में कुछ
अभी कुछ सील नहीं हुआ है. अभी कोई announcement नहीं. It's too premature to make an announcement, but I love Ranveer and I'd love to work with him.
ऋतिक का कहना था कि जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा 2 में वो काम करना चाहेंगे अगर उन्हें मौका मिला तो आप
Of course, जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा 2 can't be made without Hrithik, Farhan and Abhay. तो अगर if it ever happens, it'll have to have them. Otherwise, it won't happen.
जोया आपने देखा मोहनजोदारो कैसे लगी आपको?
मैंने अभी देखी नहीं है. मुझे देखनी है. अभी देखी नहीं है.
जोया कौन से प्रोजेक्ट्स कर रहे हैं करंटली आप?
अभी करंटली मैं मेरी स्क्रिप्ट लिख रही हूँ रीमा के साथ. रीमा और मैं उसके स्क्रिप्ट पे काम कर रहे हैं. हम 2 वेब सीरीज़ लिख रहे हैं टुगेदर, और उसके अलावा मैं ये कर रही हूँ. और हाँ,
साल में कितनी फिल्म डायरेक्ट करना चाहेंगे आप?
साल में आई वुड लाइक टू बी एंडलेस, लेकिन होता नहीं है. साल में इफ़ यू आर रियली लकी एंड रियली क्विक एक हो जाएगा.
जोया जी ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी की डेथ एनिवर्सरी है. एज अ चाइल्ड या आपने उनकी
काफी फिल्में देखी हैं
Yes.
एज अ डायरेक्टर उनसे उनके डायरेक्शन में क्या चीजें हैं जो आपको काफी पसंद हैं?
I love Rishikesh Mukherjee's films. A lot of his films were ensemble films. He had big star casts. He had lots of actors and lots of characters, and I think that and the way he used them, the way he cast people, the way he, and that is something that I have, I think, learned and imbibed subconsciously from him. And I just love his humor. His his humor. I just find him very funny. His films are very funny. They're very simple stories, intimate stories, and very telling of character. They're very character-based and telling, which is something I like.
Zoya, considering we're talking movies, in Hollywood, the superhero franchise kind of is very popular and is also generating a lot of revenue for them. Back home, Indian superheroes are kind of few and far between. What do you think needs to be done by Bollywood to make the most and cash in on this franchise? Where do you think we lack?
Honestly, I think we have our own superheroes, and our superheroes are the super gods, our superheroes. I mean, if you make a film today, and if you made a film on Shiva, you made a film on Krishna, you made a film on, about, I think if you made a film keeping our mythology, and our world in mind, I don't think you can go wrong, because we have our own superheroes,
Just like you said, we have the mythology, just like how Hollywood has the comic book, and their superhero kind of, they have a fan following. Do you think that helps them apart from the vast budget on which they mount the films?
Of course, they have a budget that mounts the film, because they have that budget because they have a global audience, so they can get that kind of budget because they have that kind of revenue, and our budgets are increasing because our market is increasing, so it'll take time.
Zoya, we pay more taxes than Hollywood films. उसके बारे में आप कुछ बताएं तो can you put some light on that? काफी tax देते हैं Hollywood.
Yes, we give. We give a lot of. The film industry is paying a lot of tax, and if you speak to any producer today, very, very few films are making money. They are bleeding. Films are bleeding because with the multiplexes, with the taxation, with service tax, luxury tax, this tax. It's just crazy. It's not possible to break. So you have to make your films really tight, and hope they work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. आपने मेरा answer submitted because I don't know today.
Please don't be scared about it.
Are you crazy?
It's right. We do have the Krishna. We have the superheroes and mythology.
But they'll say, what do you mean they're not superheroes, they're gods? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just think our mythology is that, but I don't know how people will react.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I know, but you tell me. I think it's a great bite. It really makes sense.
I'll tell you what you do. Do me a favor. Take out the names. Just keep it mythology.
That'll be too choppy.
It won't.
Give me a bite again.
Yeah, I'll give you the bite again. Take out the names because they'll cut my throat, yeah. I don't. Do you trust them? Can you guarantee? I can't.
will stand for you.
Stand for me means thank you very much. But do you understand what I'm saying?
I know. You can just.
एक सेकेंड ब्रांडिंग लगा देते हैं
हाँ?
एक सेकेंड
Take the bite again. I'm telling you, take the bite again because you don't want to get into it and I don't want to get into it. Like they don't need logic. They are not interested in what's intelligent and what, they just need something to shout about. Don't put names because today is a weird time, yeah. Take the bite again. I'll give you a proper bite.
Yeah, 1 second. We'll just put the branding.
Yeah, okay. Whoever you want to take it, take it.
ये 1 मिनट ऐसे कर दीजिए मैं इसको मूव
Bollywood is more popular and it's also making more revenue as compared to Indian superheroes. Where do you think Indian superheroes are kind of lacking? What seems to be missing here?
There are two things. Firstly, one is that Hollywood has a much larger world market, a much more global market. Their films have traveled to various more countries, so obviously their revenue is bigger. So their revenue is bigger, which allows them to make their films on a bigger scale and a bigger production. So that's one thing. Second thing is, I think that if we dug into our own history, we made films on our own superheroes. I mean, our mythology is rich with stories. If we did that, I really think that it would serve us better. I think more people would be watching it, and I think globally more people would watch it. I think we would immediately have a bigger audience.
Right. They kind of draw their material from the comic books, which already have these superheroes, and they have a certain amount of fan base. Do you think that kind of gives them an edge as compared to Indian superheroes or the Indian?
We have our own. We grew up on Amar Chitrakatha, and I think Amar Chitrakatha will give you a lot of heroes that you can make films about. So we do have our own heroes that we can actually be making films about.
So you think there is a great scope of?
I think there's a great scope, and I think that they're so unique to Indian culture that I think not only Indians that will identify with, but the fact that it's so unique, I think it's also the kind of film that will travel. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks. Better? Okay. Otherwise, like, I'll be strangled. Okay, let's go.
For more news and gossips, don't forget to subscribe to Bollywood Helpline.